I do not think that drag queens should be able to go into a library and read a book and tell children, this is how you dress up, or you put this makeup on, or this is what we do. I do not believe that is right. You have no right. And I know that parents are taking their children there because that's the problem. They feel that we're going to love everybody.
Yeah. This whole inclusion thing that they're trying to push is really bull, because if it's all about inclusion, if togetherness is what we're really promoting, then why can't we have all perspective being promoted? Why are we trying to shut down one belief in order to push another one? You know why? Because it ain't right. What is going on, everyone's? We are here and we are back with another episode of
Is My Point Valid?
Yes, indeed. And before we get into it, we're going to go ahead and say thank you to all of our new subscribers, all our new followers. If you are new to this channel, welcome to the Stocker family. Hit that subscribe button. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into this episode. So we're going to start it out with what you know good. So what you got for him, baby?
All right. I've been reading a lot. I remember a couple of episodes ago, I told y'all I was reading the 1619 Project and the critical race, something about the critical race theory. And I was reading those for research purposes, and I got tired of the research because it
wasn't researching.
It's terrible. I opened up the 1619 Project. I didn't even get to like some of the stories that people had wrote. I was still in the introduction and what, I can't even think of what her name is. Nicole Hannah something. Well, I can't think of her name, but so I'm going through, I was like, okay, that's not true. All right, that's not true. Ew, why did she think this? And so I'm going to get back to the 1619 Project. I'm probably going to finish it before our holiday, or for our little holiday is over. But yeah, but I have been reading some good books. The first one is called Another Brooklyn, and this is by Jacqueline Woodson. And this tells a story of a girl who grew up in the South, but she had to move to Brooklyn. And it's crazy because the whole time I'm thinking her mom is still alive and like there's some mental issues going on, but turns out she was just in denial that her mom had died. And so
she was living her normal life as if her mother was still there?
She wasn't. She just thought Mama's coming. She's coming.
Oh, okay.
She's coming. And so then it also tells about the story of how she has these 3 friends, and they're all from they're not from Brooklyn. They're all from different places. But one, as they grow older, one steals her boyfriend and then gets pregnant. One jumps off of a building. The other one, she makes it. Like she becomes a TV star. And then she is like going through different partners, trying to figure out life, being let down. But I thought it was a good read. I think I read it rather quickly. The next book that I really, 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 really enjoyed, it's called Bluebird by Attica Locke. And this takes place in Texas, in Shelby County.
Where is Shelby County?
I have no idea.
Okay.
59.
Down south.
59.
Down there by Corpus. I don't know. I'm just saying. Why can't I remember the city? Brownsville?
It was like closer to Huntsville.
Gotcha.
But
that's up 45.
Well, they were doing 45 and 59. It was all, okay. It was all, I can't remember, y'all, but it was a really good read. I'm not good with direction. It was a very good read because it was a suspense. And so it tells about this guy, Darren. He's a Texas Ranger. He's a Black Texas Ranger. And he comes from
like Walker,
a family of Texas Rangers, Black Texas Rangers. And he has to solve this mystery. And it deals with the Aryan Brotherhood. It deals with him and his wife, his mama, and then there's a sequel to this, which is called Heaven, My Home. And I have to go purchase that because it like at the end of Bluebird is a cliffhanger. So I'm like, I have to know because his mom is holding something over him. And so I want to see how it plays out because she didn't raise him. His uncles raised him. And so she wasn't like in his life like that until he was 8 years old. So she's his mama, but she's not his mama. Makes sense. Okay. Gotcha. The next book is Blackwater Rising. This was also by Attica Locke. I think I'm pronouncing her name correctly. This one was another suspense. This one took place in Houston, Texas.
Page time.
This one took place in Houston, Texas in 1981. So it went back. This went back 11 years before I was born. So some of the places that they were saying, I was like, I've never heard of that place, right? And then you learn that Pasadena used to be like a home for the KKK, and I was like Googling
and that's
stuff.
funny because there's a bunch of
Hispanic
Hispanics
people now.
Yeah.
I was like Googling this, and then they talked about this. What was the hospital? It was a hospital called the Riverside General Hospital. Come to find out, that was the Houston Negro Hospital. Come to find out, my daddy was born at that hospital. Wow. So I was like, oh my goodness,
full circle,
full circle. But that hospital is closed, and that was the place where Black people would go if you couldn't afford it, kind of like Ben Top, right? So
we all know how Ben Top is.
Amazing. But yeah, so this story is about a lawyer who gets caught up in a lot. He is caught up in, he witnesses a murder. Him and his wife witness a murder. His wife is pregnant. He's trying to help the labor unions on the ship channel and the porters, and
he had his hand in on everything.
He went to college with the mayor. So the mayor was a woman. She was white, and him and her were in love. He's a Black man. Like, it was filled, and I finished that. So I enjoyed that read. That one wasn't a cliffhanger. It ended, and he finally just stood up and like, look, I need to tell the truth. I need to tell people the truth, and I need to be honest to release this. And the last book I'm currently reading, I have not finished, but it is labeled a classic, and I'm thinking that it is like really a classic because I am enjoying it. It's called To Kill a Mockingbird, and this is by Harper Lee. I've seen the movie. Never read the book, but I am enjoying it.
That's that movie they redid with Puff Daddy, right?
That's A Raisin in the Sun.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wrong thing.
Moving right along.
So yeah, To Kill a Mockingbird. Scout is a fool. She speak her mind in the book. So yeah, that's it for all the books that I'm reading. And then I have like other books that I'm gonna read, and I'll tell y'all about another time. Don't want to talk about this part. Sure, why not? So I don't know when it happened, but the other day we know that, what's his name? I know him as Twitch, but Stephen Twitch Boss took his life. And my sister had told me, and then I had like this thought of a memory of when I was growing up, when I used to watch So You Think You Can Dance. And I remember every week I would get on the phone with my friend, a good friend of mine. I'd get on the phone and we would talk about it. And so I had a big crush on Twitch because like he was like the Black guy on the show. I don't know if he was like the only Black guy, but he was a Black guy on the show.
Wasn't the other dude the light skin?
That was later.
Okay.
This I'm talking about when So You Think You Can Dance like first came out. Twitch was like a part of that. The first. And so I had come up with the nickname Twitchy and all that. And I was like, yeah, and then he wins. And I remember the phone call. Well, I was like, went crazy because he won. And then you get the news that somebody like inflicted pain onto themselves. And it kind of messed me up because it was like, ugh, how selfish, right? Like how selfish of you to, take your life. And then I had watched Tabitha Brown, and she made something so clear, like as to say, you matter.
We love you.
Like we love you.
Someone loves you. Somebody
loves you. And for you to take the step to make sure that you're not here anymore, that's why I feel that is a so selfish. So yeah, I just want to say that.
And I understand that people go through things. I understand that mental illness and all of these things. I understand. But at the same time, there are a bunch of lives who are depending on you and are being affected by the fact that you are no longer here. So what about them?
Yeah. So that was I just wanted to share that story because I remember growing up and seeing him. So to see that kind of was like a little discouraging. And then Tabitha Brown had me like boo-hooing because it's like, and I feel like it's easy for us to tell people that you matter, but honestly, you have to matter to yourself.
Absolutely.
You have to love yourself. And I feel like one of the ways that you can become closer to yourself and not even, and that's another thing as well. We need to stop with this. I'm self-aware. I'm self-made, self-reliant. We are not. Yeah, we came and people say, well, we came into this world alone. Yeah, we came into the world alone. You're going to die alone, right? But there's people around you. There's this community that we are building and that we're supposed to be building. And that community is to be based in Jesus, in God, and finding that light because he is the light. So I think a lot of people, I'm in this darkness. We go through things.
Absolutely.
We go through things. He puts us through things. And I think he's testing you to see how are you going to come out on the other side, right? So don't give up. Like Mrs. Tabitha Brown said, you matter. Like you matter. So
don't give up.
Don't give up. Talk to somebody as well.
Find some help. Don't just suffer by yourself. Somebody out there can relate to your suffering.
Yep.
And they can help you through that suffering because there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yep. We do not have to do life alone. We were not put on this earth to do life alone. Okay. Yeah. All right. So last up on What You Know Good, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
By Sunday. On Sunday, it will be Christmas. It's coming. I'm not ready. I'm not prepared. No. So, Merry Christmas, and I hope you enjoy your holiday with your family. Let us know some of the things you might be doing in the comments. What do you have some traditions? Do you not have any traditions? Like what do you do or what don't you do? But yeah, Merry Christmas. And that's all I have for What You Know Good.
All right, we're going to keep this train on and chugging, and we're going to go jump into this topic. So let the people know what the topic for the day is going to be. All right.
Faith-based book ban from public library.
Lord have mercy.
I didn't come up with this title.
Well, so let's give you some context. All right. So Kirk Cameron, who is the guy from Growing Pains?
Growing Pains.
Yes, the actor from Growing Pains. He is now an author, a children's book author. And his books are faith-based. He's a Christian guy who believes in faith and he believes in teaching children about Christianity. So he decided that he wanted to read these books at a story time at, I think, over 50 California local libraries. Not only did he tell them no, but he also found out that they're openly promoting and having drag queen.
Not only did they tell him no, you said not only did he tell them no, but not only
did they tell him no, but they are also promoting and actually having drag queen story times for children.
Yeah.
Now, do you see a problem with it?
I do see a problem because you're promoting this drag queenness, which I feel should be for adults. If that is what you do, that should not be in the libraries. That shouldn't even be presented to children. And even thinking about like RuPaul and the drag queen show, I know that's on the channel, but I think children still see it. But yeah, I don't think it should be. I do not think that drag queens should be able to go into a library and read a book and tell children, this is how you dress up, or you put this makeup on, or this is what we do. I do not believe that is right. You have no right. And I know that parents are taking their children there because
that's the problem.
They feel that we're going to love everybody.
Yeah. This whole inclusion thing that they're trying to push is really bull, because if it's all about inclusion, if togetherness is what we're really promoting, then why can't we have all perspective being promoted? Why are we trying to shut down one belief in order to push another one? You know why? Because it ain't right.
I think, and Christianity or believing in God or Jesus is being pushed away. Like we are becoming the minority and others are becoming the majority, with drag queens, with Black Lives Matter, with queer theory, with critical race theory, with this just thing called SEL. I can't remember the thing for it, but everything is being pushed away from Jesus. And I question, like, if Jesus is so bad, why don't you want us to acknowledge it so much?
Yeah.
So I think it's a Fanny Dooley. If you ever watch Zoom back in the day on PBS Kids, Fanny Dooley is like, you're contradicting this. And it's like you're pushing people away. And the way that I have seen Christianity, we don't push people away. We try to bring people to us, right? Mm-hmm. But when you look at the agenda or the community, the LGBT
alphabet community, we ain't got time to be remembering all them letters.
That community, and then the drag queen community, it's like you want to exclude everything that does make sense, because what you're doing for me does not make sense.
In my mind, for a grown man to openly dress and put on makeup like a woman, there has to be something wrong with your brain. I don't know what's going on in your brain, but it can't be functioning properly.
Well, with that, if that's what they do, then that's what they do. Our issue is with, you don't come into
a children's presence.
Yes, because people have been doing it for years. So I'm not going to say there's something wrong with them. That is their preference. That is what they choose to do.
I respect that.
So, yeah, right. Then because I'm respecting if that's what they do, because for the longest time, okay, one of my favorite movies is Crooklyn. And in the scene, there is RuPaul. I watched this movie with my parents, and I had no idea that was a man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I had no idea until I got older that, oh, that's RuPaul.
Yeah.
But the difference between that, my parents never made a big deal out of it. And I think if they, would have, it would have been like, oh, but it was just like, I assumed it was a woman. And so, but it wasn't pushed on me, or my mom was saying, oh, we're going to. No, it was none of that.
Children are only recognized things that they're exposed to.
Right.
So if you expose them to that, then they're going to be, oh, let's do that. Like, I heard it was a TED talk where a guy was saying he was doing a reading for the children. He was a drag queen. He was saying he was doing readings for the children, and he asked the children what they wanted to be when they grow up. And he said, to my surprise, a lot of them said a drag queen. Come on, bro. If you didn't expose those children to you being a drag queen, do you think children would tell you that they want to be a drag queen? And what was really crazy about that is back in the day when we asked a child what they want to be, it referred to a career path.
Like, man, you want to be a policeman, a fireman,
a lawyer, a doctor. It was not a gender preference.
Right.
Kids do not think like that. Only adults think like that. And I think it's very sick for adults to push this on their children. Because, like I say, children, their minds are not even there. They wouldn't even think about that. Like, if you ask my children what they wanted to be, the last thing they would say would be anything that has to do with gender.
No, because that's not what we're teaching.
Exactly. What you teach kids is whatever you expose them to on the regular basis is what they're going to see as normal. That's why children are being the whole sex trade thing. With that, it's like they don't run away because they think they've been in that situation for so long that they think it's okay. Kids that are being molested and stuff like that, they think it's okay because it's happened to them for so long, and the person that's doing it to them are telling them, no, this is what we're supposed to be doing. So if you put a man that dresses like a woman in front of some children constantly and tell them, oh, this is okay, then of course they're going to be okay. Or of course they're going to be like, oh, that's something that I want to be, because you're telling them, oh, this is cool, this is okay, this you should strive to be like this. And that is dead wrong for you to be putting that on children.
Yeah. And then you can't go into, with Kirk Cameron's book called As You Grow, he couldn't go into it and tell the children about it and tell them about how you're growing and how you can grow in Christ and how you were made in his image and this is, a man and a woman. And
why doesn't diversity include Christianity?
Exclude or
include? Why doesn't their definition of diversity include Christians and God-fearing people? Why do they want to put that fence up and say, oh, no, we don't want to accept y'all, but we want y'all to accept us?
I think because it's morals. There is a right and a wrong.
Absolutely.
And when you don't accept Christianity,
which is the right in this world,
you don't have to take accountability in saying this is right or this is wrong. It's based on, I feel this way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because I feel this way, I'm going to teach my children to feel this way, because we need to accept everyone, and we don't have to accept everyone. We don't. I used to think, like, seriously, if you go back and watch some of the things, I was so cautious of what to say or how to say it about people, because I never want to step on toes,
offend.
I never want to judge, right? I never want to be this bad person. But you're looking and you're seeing that, such as, going into the library and there's drag queens, but Kirk Cameron can't go into the public library to serve children and say, hey, you look like this.
Opposed to that, you can also be this.
You can't even if you're looking at Kirk and his sister Candace Cameron Bure, she's been in the news because she's been bullied by a 19-year-old who is telling her, hey, you're a Christian, and I'm laughing at you because you don't view me the way that you should. I don't have to. It's silly. And it's like, people want you to treat them. And I feel like if you follow the Bible and you follow how Christianity is supposed to be done, I'm not talking about none of these prosperity preachers or none of this mess. I'm talking about how you're supposed to be Christ-like. And these groups of people, and people who do not believe, y'all are bullying. So y'all talk about bullies.
I don't even think it's that they don't believe. I think it's that, I know God, what God is. I know what he's about. And I don't want to be associated with that. I don't want to be,
so it means you're not a believer.
I don't want to be a part of any moral standards that has anything to do with that.
So if that's, you don't believe, because if you believe, then it's easy for you to accept what the Bible says.
Well, let me say, they know what it is, but they also are like, I want to feel and do as I please.
They're not believers. If you believe, you're going to do. I mean, I see what you're saying, but there's no way that you're going to. Here's how it works. You can know the Bible all day up and down, right? You can know it. That does not mean that you believe. That does not believe. Anybody can look at that book and open it and quote it and whatever. Are you living it? Are you living what he is telling you to do? Are you following the 10 commandments? And I'm not talking about law, because the law ended when Jesus died on the cross for our sins. But are you following those 10 commandments? Do you know the 10 commandments? Because guess what? A couple of months ago, I ain't know all of them that well.
Me neither.
I knew you don't murder,
that don't kill, don't steal,
like,
don't commit adultery.
I ain't know all of them.
Yeah.
And so in the process of me teaching my children, in the process of learning, it's in there. It's telling you there are values, there are morals. So when somebody says, well, you don't believe, point blank, period. And I know you're not really supposed to be like, well, but what that is doing, you don't believe. You may know it's true, but you're not believing in it, because if you did, you would turn away and repent. I like to use that word, y'all, repent. So, and when you're going to preschool story times, because I could look at our libraries and see the preschool story times, them babies are like 3 and 4.
Absolutely.
So you're
the most vulnerable
you're changing
minds.
their minds right there. And it's not fair.
No, it's not.
It's not fair. It's
and it's
story
really not
time.
fair for the parents.
And then I bet you go to story time because you're like, okay, you probably know beforehand. But then some people might show up to story time and they're like, well, I don't want to interrupt because I don't want to be rude. But if you don't believe in something the same way that I'm saying you're not a believer in God, if you don't believe, even if you don't believe in the Bible, even if you don't believe in God, but you see that is wrong, then you have every right to get up and say, hey, this is not for me. You have every right to talk to the people at the public library and say, this is not right. I don't care if President Joe Biden is pushing it. I don't care if Vice President Kamala Harris
question our beliefs.
You need to question it. It's okay to stand up and say, I am not for this. I did a homeschool video a couple of weeks ago because of same-sex marriages showed on Sesame Street. Same-sex marriage showed on Peppa Pig. Same-sex marriage. It was Arthur and all of these. After all those years of me watching Arthur and Mr. Ratburn's gay, like, what? He has a wedding? Like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Every time you turn on the TV, you see a same-sex couple. I'm not okay with it. I'm not going to be okay with it.
Never.
I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's okay. It's not okay.
No,
it's not okay for my children to see that. And if you want to come for me and be like, it's okay for them to see man and woman, yes, because I can show you scripture that man and woman, that's what it is too. He made a man and he made a woman.
You can't reproduce.
And then if you want to go, if it's a sin, it's a sin, it's a sin, it's a sin. It's a sin along with drunkards. It's a sin along with all this other stuff. So I'm not just trying to cut you and just put you in a little box. It's a lot of people out here sinning. I'm a sinner. Brandon's a sinner. We all sinners. But are you realizing? Are you ready to turn around? And are you ready to legit protect your children? Because guess what? They're going to grow up and they're going to have these, these blockers where they blocking, cutting babies' breasts off.
They won't even know how to talk because y'all change the pronouns every day.
Are y'all watching these things? We're not saying protect your children just because it sounds good. I want to protect my children, my nieces and my nephews. I want to protect, God dog it. Y'all, wake up. Stop thinking that everything is just honky dory. Oh, that's so cute. It's not cute. And
stop thinking it's about race.
It's not cute.
It's not a black and white thing. It is an agenda pushed on all people. We need to wake up and see what's really going on. Life is about reproducing. How can you reproduce if you have the same part as your doggone partner? You cannot reproduce. Sex was not made for pleasure. It was made for reproduction.
Oh, you multiply.
Pro-life.
Multiply. You're supposed to multiply. You're supposed to make the earth plentiful. And when you can't do that, you can't make the earth plentiful. I can't remember the date, but y'all, there's not enough people people on this world to continue.
Y'all ain't gonna be in a minute. Y'all ain't gonna be no children to adopt. All the adopted children gonna be gone.
Like this is a reason for reproduction, but. Man. It's crazy. We kind of went on a tangent because it got me because it's like y'all don't
we lost
protect these
and
children.
Then we have other countries laughing at us. They're laughing at us. We are the joke. We are the butt of the joke. And that is embarrassing. We need to get it together. We need to get back to our core values of family, marriage, and all of these things that we are straying away from. We need to get back to them because we are lost. Yes, we are.
It's not okay. All right. So if you think that drag queens reading in the library versus Kirk Cameron in the library is a Fanny Dooley, remember a contradiction? Let us know in the comments below. Just tell us what you think. Should it be accepted? Should it not be accepted? Do you agree with us? We went in a tangent. I know we did, but do you agree? It bothers me.
Yes. To say the least.
It bothers me because it bothers me.
Yes, indeed. But with that, we're going to keep it on moving because we can go on with that all day. But we're going to go ahead and jump into On This Day in Black History. So today is December the 19th. So on December the 19th in 1875, Carter G. Woodson was born, the father of Black history. I need to look into Carter G. Woodson. I've heard the name, but I don't really know too much about him.
He was the one who came up with Black History Month. It started out with Black History Week, and then it went on.
He had an epiphany. He was like, let's have a whole month.
No, it wasn't him. He started with the week, and it was in February because Abraham Lincoln's birthday and Frederick Douglass's birthday are in February.
Yeah,
so that's
and we thought it was because it was only 28 days.
Yeah, people think it's the shortest day of the month. No,
lack of research. How you thinking all kind of stuff. Goodness gracious. Yeah. But yes, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Once again, thank you to all the people, all of you guys who are continuing to subscribe to us, continuing to listen to us. If you are new, once again, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps us grow our channel, and that's what it's all about. So we're gonna get out of here, and you got anything else you want to say before we get out of here? With that being said, we're going to see y'all next week on Monday. We'll be back with a hot new topic. So, love, peace, and soul. Like Soul Train, baby.